What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? Thank you, everybody who be tuning in. Thank you, all my new subscribers, y'all. Let's get it in, y'all. Y'all know I got a big family, so I got that Lauryn Hill playing for y'all in the background. Because my kids, I keep telling them to shut up, and they keep being loud. Anyways, I am so upset, y'all. Please continue to pray for Breonna Taylor's mother. I am very upset right now. I feel like this is another distraction that they're trying to do to continue to allow nobody to pay for Breonna Taylor's death. How you sleep in your bed and you get killed by the police? And then they say they was at the wrong house. Then you find out foul play, and now it's a mistrial. What the hell? Come on, y'all. Let's look into this. I really want y'all to look into this and listen to this. We're going to watch little videos and all that. It's not right. I don't think it's right. You know what I mean? But we're going to read this. Then we're going to get into a few videos. I'm kind of pissed off about this. Try not to cuss so much, y'all, because y'all know they be tagging me for that. So I'm trying not to cuss so much. All right, here. Let's get into this, y'all.
More for you. Continue reading. More for you. Continue reading. More for you. Continue reading. More for you. More for you. Continue reading. More for you. More for you. Continue reading. More for you.
I guess they won't read it for y'all, but anyways. Louisville, Kentucky. Jurors failed to reach anonymous verdict on federal civil rights charges Thursday in the trial of former Louis police officer and Breonna Taylor's death. I told y'all I'm not good reading out loud, but I don't like this. I really don't. 12 members, mostly white. This is the main thing I want y'all to read right here. 12 members, mostly white. Oh, let me see. Maybe I'll let y'all listen to it right here.
Louisville, Kentucky, jurors failed to reach a unanimous verdict on federal civil rights charges Thursday in the trial of a former Louisville police officer charged in Breonna Taylor's death, prompting the judge to declare a mistrial. Brett Hankison was charged with using excessive force that violated the rights of Breonna Taylor, her boyfriend, and her next-door neighbors. Hankison fired 10 shots into Taylor's window and a glass door after officers came under fire during a flawed drug warrant search on March 13, 2020. Some of his shots flew into a neighboring apartment, but none of them struck anyone. The 12-member, mostly white jury struggled to reach a verdict over several days. On Thursday afternoon, they sent a note to the judge saying they were at an impasse. U.S. District Judge Rebecca Grady Jennings urged them to keep trying, and they returned to deliberations. The judge reported that there were elevated voices coming from the jury room at times during deliberations this week, and court security officials had to visit the room. Jurors then told the judge Thursday they were deadlocked on both counts against Hankison and could not come to a decision, prompting Jennings' declaration of a mistrial. The mistrial could result in a retrial of Hankison, but that would be determined by federal prosecutors at a later date. Hankison, 47, was acquitted by a Kentucky jury last year on wanton endangerment charges. State prosecutors had alleged he illegally put Taylor's neighbors in danger. Months after his acquittal last year, the U.S. Department of Justice brought the new charges against Hankison, along with a group of other officers involved in crafting the warrant. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland said Taylor, a 26-year-old black woman studying to be a nurse, should be alive today when he announced the federal charges in August 2022. The charges Hankison faced carried a maximum sentence of life in prison. Hankison was the only officer who fired his weapon the night of the Taylor raid to be criminally charged. Prosecutors determined that 2 other officers were justified in returning fire after one was shot in the leg. Federal prosecutor Michael Songer said Monday in the trial's closing arguments that Hankison was a law enforcement officer, but he was not above the law. Songer argued that Hankison couldn't see a target and knew firing blindly into the building was wrong. Hankison's attorney, Stuart Matthews, countered that he was acting quickly to help his fellow officers, who he believed were being executed by a gunman shooting from inside Taylor's apartment. Taylor's boyfriend had fired a single shot when police burst through the door. Her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, said he believed an intruder was barging in. If his perception was reasonable in the chaos of that moment, that was not criminal, Matthews said. The night of the raid, Hankison said he saw the shot from Taylor's boyfriend in the hallway after her door was breached. He backed up and ran around the corner of the building, firing shots into the side of the apartment. I had to react, he testified. I had no choice.
See this shit right here? All they gonna keep doing, they gonna try to keep sending her in circles and circles and circles, which is kind of messed up. Like, y'all killed this lady. You know what I mean? They were scared. They had to be scared if they fire her back. But, well, the boyfriend did. She was still asleep. I thank God she was still asleep. I just thank God Breonna Taylor was still asleep if she was gonna pass. You know what I mean? That's just not a good thing. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and let's listen to this real quick.
Breaking news tonight out of Louisville in one of the most sensitive, closely watched civil rights cases in the nation. Breonna Taylor, of course, was the young African-American medical worker who was shot and killed during a botched police raid at her apartment in March 2020. Her death ignited widespread demonstrations and passionate calls for justice. And today, on that front, we have news. In the past hour, a judge declared a mistrial after the jury deadlocked in the civil rights trial one of the officers charged in Breonna Taylor's death. The officer in question, Brett Hankison, was charged with using excessive force that violated the rights of Breonna Taylor, her boyfriend, and her next-door neighbor.
Y'all gotta think about it. If it was deadlocked, but you gotta think about it. If the jury was deadlocked and then they say 12 of the jurors was white. Come on, y'all. They just effing us with no Vaseline, huh? Right in our face.
Neighbors. Hankison fired 10 shots into Taylor's window and a glass door after officers came under fire during the flawed drug warrant search. Joining us now, NBC News correspondent Shaq Brewster and president of the National Action Network and host of Politics Nation here on MSNBC, Reverend Al Sharpton. Shaq, I want to start with you. Walk us through what just happened here.
Well, the judge declared a mistrial after the jury essentially said that they were deadlocked. They just couldn't reach a conclusion on those two federal civil rights charges against Brett Hankison. Now, he is the officer, former Louisville police officer, who was involved in that, as you mentioned, March 2020 raid inside Breonna Taylor's apartment. Let's just remind viewers of the facts here and what happened then. This happened months before the murder of George Floyd, but this was part of that movement, that social justice movement and the calls for reform. According to Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, who was in the apartment at the time, they woke up during this overnight raid. They heard noise at the front door. When they went toward the door, that's when police busted in, and he used his legal weapon to fire one shot at an officer, striking one in the leg. That's when police returned fire, a hail of some 30 bullets. Now, Brett Hankison was one of the officers as part of that raid. While he didn't shoot Breonna Taylor, she was shot multiple times and died in that raid. Prosecutors say that he went above and beyond. He used reckless force when he fired through a window and a sliding glass door that were both covered with blinds and a curtain. He fired blindly, in their words. Brett Hankison, he testified in this case. He said that he felt that he had no choice. He essentially thought this was an an ambush on his officers, and a jury that was evenly split with men and women, 6 women, 6 men, 1 black man in that jury, deadlocked and couldn't agree on a verdict on either of the counts. He was being charged and he was accused of not just violating Breonna Taylor's civil rights, but also the civil rights of her boyfriend and a family in a neighboring apartment where some of his bullets ended up reaching. There was a young child in that family. So the judge says that this will now go to another hearing. There'll be a hearing next month looking into what happens next. The federal government and the federal prosecutors do have the option of bringing this back to the jury. One other point here, back to trial. And one other point that I should mention is that Hankinson dealt with a state trial dealing with these similar charges and similar case last year, and he was acquitted in that trial. So it's a serious question on whether or not the federal government wants to go through this process again, Alicia.
Reverend
After hearing that, y'all, I can't even lie. I like the fact that it was a mistrial. I can't even lie. I like that. And the reason why I like that, because you got to think about it. It was an all-white juror. An all-white juror. And when the feds take you, when the feds come for your ass, you got to think about it. The feds win 90%. 90% cases. It probably even went higher. Probably 95. I got to look at it. But 95 to 90% of the feds cases, when they take you to jail, they got the evidence on you. If they won 95 to 90% of their cases, that's basically telling you when they take people to jail, they got that evidence on you, they gonna get you. So we probably couldn't get him for that one thing, but we damn sure gonna get him for that her civil rights. And then maybe they could double back, but I doubt it. But I want y'all to hear I was so mad, y'all. Ooh, let me looking at my stuff. Cause I gotta I be watching a lot of stuff. Oh, here it go. I want y'all to see this.
This is also, folks, been under pressure for violating the civil rights of Taylor, her boyfriend, and their neighbors during the 2020 raid that left Taylor dead. The jury, they began deliberating on Monday, could not reach a verdict on Hankinson's 2-count indictment for deprivation of rights under color of law. He was charged with willfully depriving Taylor and Kenneth Walker, Taylor's boyfriend, of the constitutional right to be free from unreasonable seizures, which includes the right to be free from a police officer's use of unreasonable force during a seizure. Hankinson was also charged with willfully depriving Taylor's neighbors, Chelsea Napper, Cody Etherton, and Zayton Flournoy. Hankinson was acquitted of multiple wanton endangerment charges in a state trial last year. He, of course, is the only police officer who has gone on trial for the death of Breonna Taylor. This obviously is a huge blow to supporters of Breonna Taylor, as well as her family. And so they have been very much involved in this. No word whether federal prosecutors are going to seek a retrial of Brett Hankinson. My panel right now, of course, is Reese Colbert, host of the Reese Colbert Show on Sirius XM Radio. She's out of D.C. Lauren Victoria Burke, Black Press USA out of Arlington. And we'll be joined a little bit later by Dr. Greg Carr, chairman of the Department of Afro-American Studies at Howard University. This right here, Lauren, is not good news to the folks who have been fighting on behalf of Breonna Taylor. And hopefully federal prosecutors are going to seek a retrial.
Yeah, I'm sure that they will, because what happened to Breonna Taylor is outrageous. She was a completely innocent person, and the cops came into her place and killed her. And it's an outrageous case, an absolutely outrageous case, which involves, of course, them getting together and lying after it. It should not go away, and hopefully prosecutors will come back and try again, because It just shows you, though, in these cases, even when there's an outrageous death of somebody who's completely innocent, how hard it is to get someone in jail who's made a huge mistake that cost somebody their life, but happens to be a member of the law enforcement community, so that they get benefits of the doubt and everything else that your typical plaintiff would not get in a likewise situation. But her death is one of the most outrageous cases of police brutality and police violence on the books in a lot of decades, and there's no way that this should just go away because of a mistrial.
Look, great points there, Reese. And look, this has been obviously traumatic for a lot of the folks there. You had Attorney General Daniel Cameron, who didn't do a damn thing. You had the grand jury who said, hell, he didn't even really present this to us. And so people were hoping and looking to the federal government by use of the violation of civil rights charge to be the place where some justice was gotten as a result for her death.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, people still want to reserve the right for cops to come in guns blazing when the residents are Black residents. It doesn't matter that these charges also related to neighbors that were affected by this guy feeling like this was guns of the Navarone, just shooting anywhere without any kind of clear target. It's still America 2024 and perhaps, or 2023 rather, perhaps if this had been closer to when there was this so-called racial reckoning, we might have seen a different result. But the reality is that the tide has turned back in favor of the cops and police brutality and by any means necessary. And I think that's very unfortunate because obviously Breonna Taylor deserves justice. Obviously Kenneth Walker deserves justice as well. So there's still more work to do to try to move this culture, this society away from the culture of that the cops have license to do anything they want.
Of course, we're going to be monitoring this. The decision came down a little while ago, and so hopefully if we hear from the attorneys, from Breonna's mother, or even Tamika Mallory and the folks at Until Freedom, we will carry that live right here on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Going to
Listen, there's a good chance somebody's trying to hack your website right now. You gotta make
or not guilty of murdering Michael Ramos while on duty back in April of 2020. KB's
Trial is declared in the federal civil rights case against former LMP detective Brett Hankinson.
Jurors spent 4 days deliberating but could not agree on a verdict. WLKY's Alexis Matthews joins us now live outside the federal courthouse in downtown, where Breonna Taylor's family attorney is about to speak.
Just couldn't get to that unanimous verdict. Of course, the family is disappointed. This is not the outcome they wanted. But we are here for the long game, and so just as the prosecutors intend to retry Brett Hankinson, we intend to be here when that retrial takes place.
And did they tell you that specifically, that they do plan to retry?
Yes, they did let the family know that they do intend to retry Brett Hankinson. There is a status conference coming up in a couple of weeks in front of Judge Jennings. So as we know, when the Department of Justice brought back indictments on behalf of Breonna Taylor, there was this trial that was involved. We also have a February trial scheduled with Joshua James and Cal Meany, who are charged with actions violating Breonna's civil rights leading to her death. So that's in February, and now we don't know when the retrial for Brett Hankinson will be, but we are glad that the AUSAs are going to retry it, and they are taking this case seriously and taking a step. I know they asked to. The judge took it under advisement, but I do not know whether or not that happened.
What was Tamika's reaction to the mistrial?
Yeah, of course, Ms. Palmer was disappointed, but still encouraged, because a mistrial is not an acquittal, and so we live another day to fight for justice for Breonna, and that's what she's going to continue to do, is fight for justice for Breonna Taylor, and encourage that the AUSAs are going to retry him.
The judge said that there were elevated voices when the jury was deliberating. Do you know anything about that? What was that about?
No one really knows what it's about. We know that the court security let the judge know that. I think that this is a case where the jury did deliberate. As an attorney, as a trial attorney, we know we send the jury back to deliberate. Sometimes those deliberations can get very emotional. After 3 full days, they got the case late on Monday. Monday, they really just picked a 4-person, came back Tuesday, was here all day Tuesday, here all day yesterday, and here all day today, in a room trying to figure out what happens. Emotions can get high, and so that's just part of deliberations. But it does, in some aspects show the seriousness that the jury did put within this case. Like, they took it, they knew their oath, and they did what they were supposed to do and what we ask of jurors to do.
Were prosecutors able to get any idea about how the jury may have been split? Were they able to relay that information to you?
We did not receive any information on how they were split. They did ask for that information. I do not know if they were given that information, but as I stand here before you, I do not know the split.
I know Tamika Mallory spoke out and was kind of disappointed in the jury makeup. Can you talk about those feelings and maybe how the family was feeling?
I mean, I think anytime you go into a trial and you see a jury, originally 16 people were set, only 6 were women, 1 black, in a city that has a almost 30% minority population and no other minorities, you do get disappointed in the jury selection, in the jury makeup. But all we can do is continue to work to further diversify juries, to get more. The Western District is made up of more than just Louisville, and so we recognize that. But hopefully on the next trial, the jury does reflect the diversity of this city and the Western District of Kentucky.
What did you think of the veracity of this prosecution versus what we saw in the state court?
I can't speak enough about the professionalism, the hard-fought battle that Mike and Anna from the Department of Justice put into this case. They did their due diligence. They came to win. It was obvious they came to win. And I think, honestly, a retrial votes in their favor, because things that they had to prove this time, they set in stone. There are things that Brett Hankinson said in this trial. He had argued all along that he could see into the window that he was shooting through. But on cross-examination, he had to admit that he was not able to see what he was shooting at. That is very important and something that they don't have to go through retrying and proving that fact again, because he as much admitted it during this trial. So I think a retrial is in our favor. No attorney ever wants to retry a case, but if you had to, you definitely want to retry a case where you've gotten the defense to concede to items that you had to originally prove.
Okay, I will. Wait, Reed. I told y'all. I said God cooking up something, y'all. He is cooking up something. Breonna Taylor mother prayers are being heard. Man, I wish a lot of more was heard. You know, like Trayvon Martin, a lot more. But we gotta go somewhere. Let me let y'all see this other video.
Thank you. Can you just say and spell your name?
Lonita Baker, Lonita Baker, and I represent the family of Breonna Taylor.
Thank you. Thanks, Lonita.
Thank you so much. Now, as you just heard Lonita Baker say that prosecutors will retry Brett Hankinson after the judge declared a mistrial today in what has been a 3-week federal trial. Now, jurors were deadlocked on both counts of civil rights violations connected to the deadly raid at Breonna Taylor's apartment in 2020. Lonita Baker saying that Tamika Palmer, Taylor's mother, is disappointed but encouraged and will still keep fighting for justice for Breonna. She also mentioned being disappointed in the jury makeup, hoping that the next time Hankinson is tried, that the jury will represent the diversity of this Western district. Now, a status conference for the next trial is scheduled for December 13th. And again, a judge has officially declared a mistrial in the federal trial against Brett Hankinson. Live from the federal courthouse for you tonight, I'm Alexis Matthews, WLKY News.
What a great day.
Wow.
I'm Attorney Ben Crump, along with my great co-counsel, the 80th president of the National Bar Association, Lonita Baker, Louisville's own, and a incredible lawyer, a young man who was the heart and soul of our fight to get justice for Breonna Taylor. He's a little shy, but his presence is right here with us always. And that is Attorney Sam Aguiar. Also present with us is, I'll save her for last. Also present with us is Tamika Mallory, the queen of this movement, and Until Freedom, who, if you all remember, moved to Louisville, Kentucky, in their quest for us to get to this day, to get justice for Breonna Taylor. So thank you, Until Freedom. Yeah, they certainly deserve a round of applause. We also have
What's an ex-mafia capo doing in Tulsa?
Very complicated.
Mistrial in the Brett Hankinson case. We are joined by Louisville attorney Nick Mudd.
That's right. As we went on the air at 5 o'clock, the judge declared a mistrial at the federal courthouse downtown. Nick, you've tried federal cases. Your take on how this happened, the give and take today, and why it led to a mistrial?
I think when you deal with a case like this, it's very polarizing. And unlike state court, who pulls from a specific county with the jury, in a case like this, the jurors come from all over the Western District of Kentucky. So you may have some jurors from Jefferson County, you may have some jurors from Paducah, Kentucky. So you got a whole hodgepodge of people who really do have different political beliefs and different views on policing and things like that.
So paint a picture for what comes next. Now we have a mistrial. Is it likely that this case goes to court again, that the prosecution tries to take it back to trial?
So there's multiple options of what could happen. It could go to trial again, which would probably be several months away. I know that Judge Jennings, she's a wonderful federal judge, but she's got a packed calendar, and you can't just add a trial on and cancel everything else. The second thing is it could get dismissed. That does happen periodically. It has happened with cases that I've had that have mistried and hung. The prosecution just says, you know what, we took a bite at the apple, we didn't win, we didn't lose, but we didn't win, we're not going to spend any more resources.
Or you said there could be a plea in this case. Explain that. Would he plead in some fashion to one of these charges?
That could happen as well, and that's kind of the third option, and I would say the most likely that's happened in a lot of cases that I've had. Generally, if there is a hung jury, the mistrial will offer you a little bit better deal than they offered before. However, in a case like this that's so polarizing, I don't know if the prosecution would offer a plea less than what they may have offered already. And the other thing would be, I don't know if Detective Hankison or Brett Hankison would want to take anything in this case.
Just a few minutes ago, we were talking a little bit about the jurors in this case and what happens with them. You were saying they have an opportunity just to walk away, never be known to anyone, never have to explain themselves. What are the options there?
Generally, in any case I've had, I always want to talk to the juror afterwards. What did I do wrong? What did I do right? Just to kind of get better. And if the hung jury, you want to know, hey, what do I need to do next time? But jurors have no obligation to talk to lawyers. They have no obligation to talk to the media. They don't have any obligation to talk to anybody. They're entirely anonymous, and if they want to walk out the door and never speak another word about it, they're allowed to do that.
Let's talk about the jury, since you have interviewed them in cases afterwards, because you want to get to the bottom of what happened. Okay, deliberation started Monday at about 5 o'clock. Here we are Thursday, it ends. This jury was made up of 6 men, 6 women, 1 black juror. So talk about what you think the discussions were the last several days.
I assume they went through all of the evidence. However, on cases like this that are so polarizing, the fear is always from both sides that you have jurors that walked in the door right away and either, hey, he's guilty, or hey, he's innocent, and didn't listen to the evidence. I'm not saying the jury did that here, but you may have had 1 or 2 jurors that were very, very polarizing on both sides, and no matter what the evidence was, you weren't going to get a verdict if it didn't satisfy them.
What is your opinion? Does this go back to another trial? Do you think they'll try to bring it again?
It's a very good question. I think it's going to go to another trial, probably sometime next year. It wouldn't surprise me.
We've got the other officers involved in the Breonna Taylor case, though. They're coming down the line for federal trials. Do you think they would put his at the very end of that?
It could continue their cases, because they may want to still do this as a trial run to see what happens, to see what they do with the rest of the cases. So there's a chance that the prosecution may say, let's continue the other ones and start back here and see what happens first before we make a decision on the rest of them.
This game, you're not ready for.
We are following some late breaking news tonight out of Louisville in one of the most sensitive, closely watched civil rights cases in the nation. Breonna Taylor, of course, was the young African-American medical worker who was shot and killed during a botched police raid at her apartment in March 2020. Her death ignited widespread demonstrations and passionate calls for justice. And today, on that front, we have news. In the past hour, a judge declared a mistrial after the jury deadlocked in the civil rights trial one of the officers charged in Breonna Taylor's death. The officer in question, Brett Hankison, was charged with using excessive force that violated the rights of Breonna Taylor, her boyfriend, and her next-door neighbor.
See, y'all, that's some bullshit. Now I want y'all to see this. Look. CHRISEAN, she doing too goddamn much. It's fucked up, though, because it's like damn, like, she took up for you and you on some whole other shit. Kind of fucked up. I want y'all to see this. See this video.
I can't make nobody happy. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I really wish he would have hit me instead of him. You know, I'm just so sorry it happened to you. And I'm sorry, CHRISEAN, if you felt that, you know, any of us wanted to use you for height. No, it really hit us all hard. No one deserved it, you know, and no one wanted to hurt anybody, and no one wanted to disrespect anybody, and nobody wanted to set anybody up. We just wanted to have a good time. I love you guys, and I'll see you in a few weeks. I'm sorry, James. You're an amazing person. This should have never happened. And I'm also sorry, CHRISAN, that you feel like in your life.
Y'all gotta think about it. Tamar could really be she could really be sued for that shit. Like, oh, everything I love. She could really be sued for that. So but at the end of the day, she really didn't have shit to do with that. Nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. Now, I want y'all to hear the manager. He said a whole story.
He's got a great swing. Seeing the world in a new light.
So manager said a whole damn story.
City Gold clients have access to preferred benefits like live events. Danielle Kang stepping to the team.
That's with the gas comments. So we got to play that. Now, earlier today, Sky and out here in these streets, that makes us the juror, okay? A juror, bitch, you know how to say it. We are the judge of this. Make no stakes behind it. I'm the judge, y'all the juror, okay? They put their information out here for us to judge, okay? And this is the court. Social media is the court of law, sweetheart. Okay, let's do it. Would you all agree that? Press 5 if you guys agree that they are fighting. Hold on, I want to address April. April, you know I love you like my son. Okay, did Tamar put him up to this?
Tamar and CRISEAN. Tamar was trying to figure out why didn't CRISEAN go out during the twerk session? And she's looking at me and I'm like, I don't know. Like, CRISEAN, I don't know why she didn't go out. So CRISEAN breaks down and starts crying. And I felt bad. And the Holy Ghost in me, because I carry it everywhere with me, I began to give her a hug and everything like that, because I like CRISEAN. I like her. And, you know, and I was like, I don't want to see nobody with their feelings hurt, or I don't want nobody feeling some sort of way, because there was a big line of miscommunication that took place. So I began to try to comfort her and hug her and be like, no, don't cry, because it's not that, you know what I'm saying? Nobody was.
Oh, stop it. He's such a liar. Do you guys get that he's saying some bullshit? I mean, he can't even look at you guys in the face. Look at his eyeballs. He's looking else everywhere, trying to make up.
I hate that I even have to do this. But I'm going to tell, because I'm going to tell the truth and what the truth is. So I'm going to give y'all a second to roll through real quick. Larry, cut it. My problem is this. I was in the room. I was next to James. It was me, James, David, Mooney, Tamar in that room. I want to address the assault. That's what I want to address right now, because that is what is at question. And what is at question is the assault. And it breaks my heart that we even have to go this route and even have to go back and forth on social media. For those that don't know, I am the tour manager for Tamar Braxton, the Love and War Tour. And what I'm going to address is the assault. We were in the room. At the end of the show, CHRISEAN walked up to Tamar. Troy brought her out a cake. Tamar put her hands in the cake. She had a right hand full of cake and some cake in her mouth. And CHRISEAN came out and was like, "Where you going, sis? Gotta go on stage." And I'm looking like, huh? Like, what's happening? And Tamar like, the show is over. What do you mean? She said, "I'm about to go on stage." And she's like, huh? You ain't been out? You haven't went out there already? Because she was supposed to go out during the twerk session. She hadn't been out. CHRISEAN hadn't been out. So I was like, come on, ladies, let's just take this in the dressing room. So we went in the dressing room. And in the dressing room, it was me, Tamar, and CHRISEAN. Tamar was trying to figure out why didn't CHRISEAN go out during the twerk session? And she's looking at me, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, CHRISEAN, I don't know why she didn't go out. So CHRISEAN breaks down and starts crying. And I felt bad, and the Holy Ghost in me, because I carry it everywhere with me, I began to give her a hug and everything like that, because I like CHRISEAN. I like her. And, you know, and I was like, I don't want to see nobody with their feelings hurt, or I don't want nobody feeling some sort of way, because there was a big line of miscommunication that took place. So I began to try to comfort her and hug her and be like, no, don't cry, because it's not that, you know what I'm saying? Nobody was trying to, I don't want you to feel no sort of way. And this was just in the dressing room. And this was me, CHRISEAN, and Tamar at the time. As the time went on, CHRISEAN was explaining that this happens to her all the time, and she felt some sort of way because she felt embarrassed. She felt embarrassed, and she felt like, you know, that this was just like, shouldn't happen to her, because, you know, she was just prepared to go out during the twerk session, and that time had come and she didn't go out. So Tamar is still asking, like, well, what happened? What happened? Why didn't she go out? And I'm like, I'm trying to figure out what happened too. So David and Mooney come in. They both do makeup. And we're all at this point talking about what happened. Tamar is saying, Mooney, what happened? Mooney was saying that CHRISEAN was not on the side of the stage when it was time for the twerk part. Mooney is a choreographer, and he also does makeup. Mooney was saying CHRISEAN was not on the side of the stage. So it's like, well, what happened? What happened? Well, who was there? Who can, like, what? Everybody's screaming, what happened? What happened? At this point, CHRISEAN is like, yes, I was on the side of the stage. I was there. And I was like, okay. And I'm trying to calm everybody down. Just let's do this a peaceful conversation, because CHRISEAN is upset. She's very upset. And I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, okay, let's calm down. Like, everybody, let's talk this thing out or whatever. And then a few more talking. And then James comes in the room. So at this point, it's me, CHRISEAN, David, Mooney, Tamar, James. James comes in the room and notices that CHRISEAN is upset. By the mirror, CHRISEAN is on the right-hand side. James is right next to her. He was consoling her, and I was literally right next to James. And Tamar asking James, well, what happened? Why didn't CHRISEAN go out there during the twerk session? And James said, we was looking for her on the side of the stage, and she was not on the side of the stage. And CHRISEAN got very upset, and she was like, I was on the side of the stage. I was there. Where else would I go, man? You lying. Like, that's cap. I was on the side of the stage. Like, I was there on the side of the stage. And James said, no, you wasn't. We called for you there. CHRISEAN said, say I wasn't there one more time. Say I wasn't there on the side of the stage one more time. James was like, I'm telling you, we was calling you, and you bop, 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 bop. I'm like, oh, shit. Literally happened just like that. And here I am, like, this girl just hit this boy a couple of times with them big-ass rings on her finger. And I'm just like, no, this is not happening. This is not happening. This is not happening. I get CHRISEAN to the other side of the room. At this point, James' face is leaking with blood. She going off saying, man, that's cap, da-da-da-da-da. Everybody is shocked. And I mean shocked, because mind you, I like CHRISEAN. I'm still at this moment trying to de-escalate everything. Like, I don't want this to go left. Like, this is crazy. This is all craziness. And I'm like, Chrisean, you gotta calm down. Everybody, you gotta calm down. Like this, it's a lot of yelling. At this point, Mooney and James, get her ass out of here. Da, 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 da. You know, I'm like, okay, everybody calm down. I got Chrisean on my right-hand side. Now she's at the back. The door is right there. I'm blocking Chrisean on here because at this point, she don't go. She like, well, what's up? Like, her defense is all the way up now. And people trying to get in the door. And I'm stopping people from coming in the door. Troy was one of the people that I stopped from coming in the door. And I'm like, okay, y'all, we gotta talk this out. We cannot, this is crazy. Tamar walks over to Chrisean. That is like, she said, that is like my blood brother. You cannot just go hitting my blood brother in his face. What is wrong with you? What's happening? All of this is going on. Everybody's emotions are on 100. And then Chrisean, I got Chrisean out of the room when Bandcamp came in the room. Bandcamp came in the room, got Chrisean out of the room, and that was that. I walked out of the room and I called the police. So in the video that she just made and said, well, why wasn't the police there? Why wasn't this there? And actually, to tell the truth, there were 28 security guards in that building that day from the Novo security team. 28. I went to the head of security at Novo and I asked them, I said, I need somebody to get up here right now. Somebody has just been assaulted. They asked me questions. They said, who? I said, James. I said, can you call the police? You know what Novo told me? Novo said they cannot call the police. I had to call the police. I went and called 911. You can call 911 are public records. You can call 911. You can check the records. Right after immediately happened, I called 911. It took the police over 2 hours to get to the Novo. I was not leaving until the police came. It took the police over 2 hours to get, it took them over 2 hours to get to the Novo. The police did come. A police report was reported. This whole incident is horrific. It's crazy. And then for everybody to jump online to say something about Tamar is wild. Everybody say James is lying is wild. Nobody had nothing against Chrisean. I love Chrisean. I love the ratchetness. I love the rowdiness. I love watching her on Zeus. I love her with the baddies east, west, north, south, all of that. Chrisean said one thing that was absolutely correct when she did her live today. She said, I'm that bitch. God got me. And she's absolutely correct. For somebody of her stature to come from where she came from and to somehow manage to garnish the hearts of over 5 million people that follow her on Instagram, yes, she is that bitch. For somebody to have a song that a whole stadium can recite, yes, she is that bitch. For somebody who can have a hit reality TV show, I'm sorry, yes, she is that bitch. And for somebody to say otherwise, they are clearly hating. She is that bitch. But guess what? Chrisean hit the wrong bitch. Because guess who else is that bitch? James Rice Chanel. And he did nothing to her. He did nothing to her. He was consoling her. And she popped him a couple of times. And that's why his face looked like it looked. And if you are in the public eye multiple times like you are, you would not show your face either. I was there when the police came. I was there when the police left. I literally flew to New York the next day, hopped on a plane, flew back to LA because it was just a lot going on. And it was just like, I hate that all of this is happening. I hate that everybody trying to blame Tamar. I hate that everybody trying to now always talk all of this stuff because this tour, Love and War, we are supposed to be celebrating 10 years of a great album, an album that helps so many people through whatever times. Music saves people. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're supposed to be celebrating. And for this to happen, I hate it. 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 I hate it with everything inside of me. And I really wasn't going to say anything. I don't like to get into drama. I don't like to say anything. I stay neutral in a lot of things. I don't like to take people's sides. I stay neutral. Right is right and wrong is wrong. But when I got online and I seen the DJ Sky and CRISEAN was saying, I didn't hit anybody. I didn't this. No, that's not true. And y'all know it's not true. And Bandcamp did not have the music. Y'all know he didn't have the music. And the videos that you're seeing we do a tribute to Tracy, which is what we do before we end the show with Love and War and Tamar comes out. How did CRISEAN get the microphone? Because the iconic, legendary Toni Braxton had a microphone on the side of the stage. And when she walked off the stage on her set, she had that microphone still sitting over there. That's how she got that microphone, because that microphone was on the side of the stage. She was not supposed to come out on Love and War. Love and War is the ending of the tour. So when she's out there, of course, what is Tamar supposed to do? Hey, y'all, this is my sister. Tamar had no idea she hadn't came out there before, because Tamar was in the back or whatever. The Bandcamp did not have the music. As you see, she was up there trying to airdrop the music to him. I'm the one who told DJ Sky to get off of the stage, because at that point, I really honestly didn't know what was going on. And I was like, yo, you got to get off the stage. This is a whole production going on. Like, what are you doing? Like, you got to move. And she wasn't taking to what I was saying. She's like, I'm DJ Sky. I'm CRISEAN's DJ. And I was like, oh, okay, you got to go, though, because we in a show, babe. Like, you got to go. And when I tell you I was being nice and I'm not taking no sides or anything like that, my spirit, everybody who knows me, you can try the spirit by the spirit. You know me. You know me. You know me, and I'm not a mean person. Now, I can have some choice words. But in this case, I love CRISEAN. That's the crazy thing. I love it. But it wasn't a vibe that night. It was just like, it was like horrible. And I just wish that it was a vibe, because it would have, been great. The outcome would have been great. But it was like, here's the thing with that. When people say clout chasing, Tamar has sold millions of albums. Like, nobody has to clout chase. This tour, the LA show was sold out weeks before we even got to LA. Weeks before we got to LA, the show was sold out. Every show that we have done has been sold out. Nobody has to clout chase. Nobody's looking for anybody to do anything. Every show was sold out. Thank God. Thank God, because God favors us. God favors this team. God favors Tamar. Every show was sold out. And when you get in the audience, the audience, if you've ever been to a Tamar Braxton show with the real Tamartians out there, the millions and millions of people that follow her, they know all of her songs verbatim. I literally sometimes sit in shock, and people still know these songs from 10 years ago. And I'm like, hello, she's a Braxton. The Braxtons are like the black versions of the Kardashians for the African-American community. And and it is what it is. They are all iconic. They are all iconic, and everybody knows who the Braxtons are. So it was like, nobody needs any clout to do anything. Nobody needs nothing. The show, we've had iconic, legendary people in the audience that have not mentioned we did not mention that they were even there. They were just coming to see the show. Nobody needs anybody named to see a show. I hate that all of this is misfortunate. I hate it, because everybody, and I look at everybody as a good person. I don't see the evil in people. And sometimes that's my problem as tour manager, because I do know that there are evil people in the world. And I just wish all of this would go away. And the only reason I am saying something, and I got on here, because my friend is injured and he is hurt mentally and physically. And I don't like that, because we came to do a show. We came to get the people what they wanted. The people had an amazing time at the show. Everything was great. And then to hear somebody say, whatever she said, be careful or something like that. Baby, let me tell you something. You say you love God and God is this. The weapons will form, but they will not prosper. The weapons will form, but they will not prosper. And Sometimes what people really need in life is a good reality check. And as much as I love CRISEAN, and as much as I love the ratchetness, there is a time and a place for everything. And it really, really, really was a horrible situation. And I'm just like, you make it, and Tamar really, I'm like, it was like damned if you say something and damned if you don't. She was, trying to say something so that everybody won't think that, okay, well, what type of friend is her? She not saying anything. But it's like, I knew all of this shit would happen. Like, I knew everything that's happening, I knew would happen because I know how social media can take something and run with it. I know how social media can take something and run with it. But no, the police were called. The police were called. I called the police. I called 911. If anybody wants to go get the records, I'm sure you can pull them up from the Los Angeles County or whatever district we was at the Novo, and pull them up and go hear it for yourself, And I was not the only one that called 911. Chris Sibley called 911 as well, So I don't worry about people threatening and doing anything like that, because let me tell you, the joy of the Lord is my strength. And one thing about this team over here, the Holy Ghost is with us throughout all of the way. For this particular tour to sell out all of the shows, and she has not did this album in 10 years, that ain't nobody but God. That ain't nobody but God. Nobody but God. And one thing that I don't really worry about or worry about anybody that I deal with is God is walking with them and God is talking with them. And I want to end this live on a prayer. I want to pray for CRISEAN. I want to pray for everybody that's involved in this situation, because at the end of the day, God is going to get the glory out of this somehow, some way. God is going to get the glory out of this somehow, some way. CRISEAN, if you're listening to this, I know you know this face, because I was the one that was giving you a hug and telling you everything's going to be all right. And guess what? Everything still is going to be all right, because there's some issues and things that I feel that you probably need to deal with, that people have done you wrong for such a long time. You take the anger out on the wrong people. We were there to love on you. Nobody was hating. Nobody was doing anything else. Everybody's turning this into something that is not. You have been hurt for so long by so many people, used and abused. And it's not fair to you. It's not. And it's not fair to the people who get the end of the stick of you arguing. So we're going to end this in prayer. Father God, we come to you today. God, tell you thank you. Thank you for waking us up this morning. Thank you for keeping our eyes closed when we go to bed at nighttime, God. God, somebody didn't wake up this morning, and we woke up this morning. And so while we have the activities of our limbs, God, we just want to tell you thank you, God. God, we just want to tell you thank you for every gift that you have given us, God. God, we just want to tell you and ask a prayer over CRISEAN right now in the name of Jesus, God. God, keep her mind, God. God, keep her heart, God. God, let her know that everybody is not out against her, God. God, pray for Tamar right now in the name of Jesus, God. Pray for all the darts and all the enemy is trying to come after her. Let them not get to her, God. Keep her mind, God. Keep this second leg of this tour, God. Keep her mind focused on what we came to do, God. God, I ask that you say a special prayer for my friend James. A special prayer for my friend James, God. I know that this was traumatized him, and I know that he's going through it right now. But God, we know that with you, all things, the good and the bad, all things work together for the good of us that love the Lord.
Yes, it do.
Lord.
Yes, it
And
do.
God, right now, that's...
Hey, friend. Can you hear me? Let me see if my friend can hear me. Hey, friend. This my best friend, y'all. Okay, so I was supposed to have some other people chime in one time. Let me see some real quick, y'all. Okay. I wanted y'all to see that about CRISEAN. Now, I want y'all to see how CHRISEAN is just so foul. Oh my gosh, she's so foul with it. I just don't understand, like, why you gotta be so foul with it? Like, people give you their platform. I mean, now you posting your Bentley truck, all that, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Ooh, I do want to hear him one more time. I'm not even gonna lie, y'all. He was like,
one of CHRISAN Rock's biggest.
That way. He was like, she's going to jail. That shit was so fucking funny, y'all. Oh my god, that was so funny. Okay, let me show y'all. Oh, that's my husband. Don't listen to the background, please don't. Somebody about to get in the corner. Now, this is what I didn't like. I didn't like the fact that she did, like, she was just grimy towards Tamar. I really didn't like that. Like, that pissed me off. I just want y'all to hear this one more time because it was so funny when he did this. Just hear this.
First of all,
I just want y'all to hear
I want to call her a girl. First of all, she's trash. She should have never been in my show. So she come to Tamar concert, which I planned, and I will say that, drunk with 1,000 people, smelling like weed, looking dumb, okay? And so apparently she makes music. I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? And apparently she wanted to drop a beat. So she was mad that she didn't get to perform. I didn't know she was a performer. And even if I did know she was a performer, she was not getting on the stage that everybody has worked their ass off to make. So first of all, y'all see the video. She was up there a drunk fool, okay? So now Cardi took your man upset because she didn't get to perform. So again, y'all saw her show her dumb ass during Love and War. She ruined the song. She ruined the concert. She ruined the moment. So then she go backstage and she is upset, okay? Because she didn't get to perform her ringtone. So she storms in Tamar's dressing room with 1,000 people, okay? And everybody's like, nobody knew you were supposed to perform a song. We didn't even know that you made music. We thought you was on Zeus. Right? So everybody's trying to calm her down. She's in there like a dungeon dragon, right? So then James is like, oh, it wasn't on purpose. Like, nobody tried to, like, shade you. We didn't know that you were supposed to sing. She like, lie again. And James like, no, nobody knew. And she hit James right in his face, chipped James' tooth. James' face is bloody. James is at the hospital right now because his nose will not stop bleeding. She's going to prison. And I promise you, and we can cancel all this shit right now. You don't come to nobody's show. Everybody has worked their behind off to make this tour amazing. You know what I'm saying? And we don't have a lot of help. So never will I ever let anyone get away coming to anything that anybody I know and care about plan and work hard for and assault them, and I'm letting it go. So I want everybody to let CROISSANT know, CROISSANT, whoever she is and whatever she does, I'm coming for every coin she has. And y'all know me, I'm not going to stop. I can't stop, won't stop Rockefeller Records. You do not come to my show and assault people that are working on my show. Okay? I might not have sang Love and War, but I'm the only reason everybody heard it tonight.
Ooh, child. Oh my God, y'all.
My children,
I want y'all to see this other video. This is just too much, y'all. CHRISAN, she run around like she got a billion, like she a $1 billion female. Like she done won the Grammys. Girl, you is crazy, girl. She better sit down somewhere and get her business and collect her coins. Now she ready to beat up Tamar Braxton. Girl, this girl from the hood.
Tamar has finally come out to address CHRISAN's fight at her concert, and it looks like she will indeed be filing a lawsuit against CHRISAN and making sure that CHRISAN faces some consequences. But CHRISAN is still not sorry, because she wants all the smoke with Tamar Braxton because she is still making some heavy threats towards Tamar. This situation is crazy, and it looks like Tamar just might be sending CHRISAN to prison after all. If y'all thought that CHRISAN felt any bit of remorse after her shenanigans at Tamar Braxton's show, well, think again. So by now, y'all probably know about CHRISAN's actions at Tamar's show over the weekend. Tamar has been on her Love and War tour for the past 2 weeks or so, and she had a show in LA, so she decided to invite CHRISAN as a special guest. She even brought CHRISAN on stage. Now, there are thousands of people who could have told her for free that inviting CHRISAN was a very bad idea. But either Tamar didn't have people on her team to tell her that, or she just didn't listen. Now, I'm not trying to hate on CHRISAN or anything, and this doesn't even have anything to do with the crazy situation that she has going on with Blueface. But she is known to go wild everywhere and at all times. And right from the stage, we could see that she was starting to act out when she started bothering the backup singers. So it wasn't all that surprising when we found out after the show that she had punched one of Tamar's showrunners because she wanted to go on stage to perform after she missed her cue. According to reports, she was trying to get some of her friends into the venue when she missed her cue, and rather than talk it out, she went backstage to confront Tamar, who was having a wardrobe change. Instead of talking it out and seeing if the situation could be fixed, CHRISAN got mad and started making a scene. And when James Chanel Wright tried to step in and calm her down, she punched him in the face repeatedly because she felt like he was lying to her, and she ended up breaking his nose and tooth. Tamar's other friend, LaTroy, went on a rant against CHRISAN, and he explained what had happened. He said, "Just want to let y'all know that girl CHRISAN y'all keep hyping up, James Wright Chanel, at Tamar's concert tonight. James is in the hospital. I swear I will do everything to make sure she goes to prison. She is trash, and that's why her life is the way it is. She deserves every bad thing that happens to her." He continued, "That lady is a disgusting pig, and I'm going to make sure she goes to jail. You do not come to my show and attack people. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure she pays for assaulting James. She's going to prison. I am so disgusted. CHRISAN is a disgusting person, totally trash. Y'all need to stop rewarding bad behavior and bad people. I am so disgusted. CHRISAN came to my show and assaulted James. She hit James in his mouth. She is disgusting. She deserves the way everybody treats her. She is trash." He then went live and he was angry.
She come to Tamar concert, which I planned, and I will say that, drunk with 1,000 people, smelling like weed, looking dumb, okay? And so apparently she makes music. I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? And apparently she wanted to drop a beat. So she was mad that she didn't get to perform. I didn't know she was a performer.
CHRISAN then tried to defend herself on Twitter saying, "I don't get disrespectful till you get disrespectful. Please don't believe false narratives. I had a great time last night." But when this didn't get her the support of fans, she decided to go online and claim that Tamar and her team were trying to use her for clout.
I don't know what was miscommunicated or what was plotted against me, but I was supposed to perform. And that was that. All this other false narrative saying this happened, she did that. I don't know what that, I don't know. I think it's just a clout chasing thing. So honestly, I have to start protecting my name when I don't know. I don't know how you step in situations like that. So it had nothing to do with Tamar. It was some other shit. Like,
not her accusing Tamar of the Braxton family of trying to use her for clout. Talk about being Delulu. She was still getting so much backlash that she ended up deleting her social media pages. But then Tamar finally came out to speak on the drama, and it looks like CHRISAN is in even bigger trouble because Tamar is also threatening to sue. Tamar made a video where she confirmed that CHRISAN did indeed put pause on James and that she was lying about not fighting.
I wasn't going to say anything out of respect for James and his trauma and what happened to him. And when I say what happened to him, he got assaulted at my show, and it was by CHRISAN.
She then revealed that the reason she brought CHRISAN on stage is that she was trying to give her a chance to clean up her image and not use her past against her.
I knew that she was rowdy, you know, I didn't judge her because of that. You know, I felt for her on so many occasions, and I just felt like, oh, this was somebody I wanted to meet to, you know, possibly take under my wing.
She then revealed that her bringing CHRISAN on stage was very last minute and that it wasn't part of the original plan because she originally just wanted CHRISAN at the show, not on stage.
But when she was in my dressing room, we do a twerk off portion, right? And I was like, oh, it'd be cool if the DJ played as a vibe.
Did you know there was a college Christmas party tonight? NFI, me and you, not fucking invited. You all right?
Yeah, I've got a flat tire.
Take my bike.
Hey, that is so kind. Thank you. I'm sorry I don't know your name. I'm Felix.
Oliver.
Oliver. Oliver, I love you. I love you. All right, cheers, Ollie.
My parents, they've got problems.
What do you mean problems?
I don't think I'll ever go home again.
Well, why don't you come home with me? Come to Saltburn.
Mr. Quick. Wow.
And here he is now.
Oh, beautiful eyes. Oh, how wonderful.
Yeah, I told you he wasn't a minger.
Oh, but darling, you're kind about everyone. You can't be trusted.
I had them hang up an old school dinner jacket. We dressed for dinner here.
Dressed for dinner?
Yeah, it was like black tie.
I think I like you even more than last year's one. You're so,
So what?
real.
Can't have been easy for Venetia. With you being a mother.
Why?
Now it's time to take things up a notch.
Shawty had them apple bottom. And you came out and did a vibe like the people, you know, Baltimore sisters, and that's really what I was thinking.
So it turns out that the original reports didn't give the full story because, according to Tamar, CHRISAN was never meant to perform. Tamar just wanted to bring her on stage, but for some reason, CHRISAN thought that she was meant to perform. And when she got impatient, she went backstage to ask when she was going on stage, and when James was trying to explain the situation, she lost her temper and punched him in the face because CHRISAN Rock has finally gotten herself in a hole.
Now you never get this in the middle of Northern War. Well, this is my baby. It's a volleyball time. Can y'all light this bitch up? Let me get the singers. Damn.
Then she talking about Tamar set her up, y'all. Look at this.
We are always going to be connected. You'll always be my best friend.
That's the line about legal action
No, they not press no fucking charges.
Here's the thing. Why were there no?
They didn't press no charges.
Why were there no
The
police
bitch
on the
ain't have,
scene?
no, it's not even that. The bitch ass nigga didn't have nothing on his face.
She said, if I win,
why didn't he show his? Why didn't he show his face?
Girl, Chrisean Rock said she didn't lay hands on James Wright Chanel, because if she had, he would have shown his bruised face. She actually said that they are all lying because Tamar Braxton's tour is a flop, and she needs all the clout she can get.
They need that for their career.
It's not cool.
Because they don't have one.
The shade, y'all. The shade. Anyway, let's get right into this mess and figure out who's lying and who's not, and whether or not Chrisean Rock was set up. Now, as you may have seen from videos that made rounds during Tamar.
I can't even lie, y'all. I would have beat the fuck out of Chrisean. That's just why I don't like doing stories about her. I would have whipped her ass. I would have went straight to her mama house. The same fence Blueface mama tried to climb. I would have whipped her ass. Oh God, I would have beat her ass.
Tamar's performance, Rock walked around the stage, ad-libbing words into a microphone as Tamar Braxton performed Love and War. Honestly, I don't know what Tamar was thinking when she invited Chrisean on stage when she was clearly intoxicated. And that was obviously not Chrisean's demo, but it was a disaster. Chrisean Rock was also seen with Toni Braxton and Tamar Braxton as she attempted to twerk afterwards. And the look on Toni's face just says it all. But that wasn't even the highlight of the show, because allegedly, backstage, things got really out of hand when Chrisean attacked James Wright, leaving him with a bloody nose and a chipped tooth. But Chrisean hopped on a live the next day and defended herself, saying there were false narratives being put across about attacking James. And then she tweeted that she was deactivating all of her social media pages and changing her phone number and her address. Well, Chrisean did get a lot of support from her fans because something is off about.
But why lie? Why lie? You're supposed to be the Bad Girls Club. You supposed to be the headline for the Bad Girls Club, and you lying about sucker punching somebody? Come on, y'all. This shit ridiculous.
This story because James did not show his injuries. They actually said that, just like Chrisean said, it's possible that Tamar was indeed using Chrisean for clout because not many people were checking for Tamar's tour, and the blogs didn't really pick it up until this incident, which apparently says a lot. Well, let's be real. Tamar's influence isn't the same as it was when Braxton Family Values was airing, so she could also be jumping on this because she does need the clout. People are also basing her claims on the fact that James Wright also responded in a video and did not show his face.
Let me just tell y'all this, because everybody want to tell stories and tell their versions and they side of the stories and blah, blah, blah. Child, I was an innocent bystander.
Note that James didn't necessarily say that he was attacked by Chrisean, but in another video where he also didn't show his face, James said that he was attacked for no reason.
I just want y'all to stop thinking that everybody's lying. Yes, this happened to me, and everybody keep asking what's the reason. This happened to me for no reason. I was attacked for no reason. And they keep telling me don't get on live, but no.
In addition, Tamar's team insisted that it happened, and a member of the team, LaTroy Davis, said Rock arrived at the venue drunk with 1,000 people, smelling like pot, expecting to perform when she was not scheduled.
So she was mad that she didn't get to perform. I didn't know she was a performer. And even if I did know she was a performer, she was not getting on the stage that everybody has worked their off to make. So she called, first of all, y'all see the video, she was up there a drunk fool.
LaTroy also said that Rock got into an argument with James backstage about not performing and then struck him in the face, leaving him bloody with a chipped tooth, and he reportedly had to seek medical attention to stop the bleeding. Well, guess what?
Find Peter Parker.
What's the thing on his hand?
Find Peter Parker.
What? LaTroy said that he has every intention of making sure that CHRISAN goes to jail for attacking James. In a since-deleted Instagram post, LaTroy wrote, "I just want to let y'all know that girl CHRISAN y'all keep hyping up to James writes Chanel at Tamar's concert tonight. James is in the hospital. I swear I will do everything to make sure she goes to prison. She is trash, and that's why her life is the way that it is. She deserves every bad thing that happens to her." Honestly, for someone who wasn't attacked, LaTroy seemed really angry and heated. Well, when some people started questioning exactly what happened because things weren't adding up and why there was no police involvement, Tamar's tour manager insisted that CHRISAN actually attacked James. But when he tried to talk to the security at Novo, things became a little complicated.
There were 28 security guards in that building that day from the Novo security team. 28. I went to the head of security at Novo and I asked them, I said, I need somebody to get up here right now. Somebody has just been assaulted. They asked me questions. They said, who? I said, James. I said, can you call the police? You know what Novo told me? Novo said they cannot call the police. I had to call the police.
According to the tour manager, the police arrived at the place over 2 hours later, and they did take a report, but no arrest was made. Let's just say that to some people, it's still not believable that CHRISAN attacked James. For starters, CHRISAN is too small to have done so much damage to a person the size of James. Then there have also been claims that CHRISAN was set up, and there are actually receipts proving that LaTroy has never liked CHRISAN. For instance, there's a tweet where LaTroy was like, CHRISAN the type of person to say she took a DNA test and did it on herself and not the baby daddy. There's also another one where he wrote about CHRISAN saying she hoped she would be pregnant with triplets because that's how many babies she got rid of. And another one where he was like, I'd rather see Big Groove dancing down my timeline getting endorsements than CHRISAN popping her tooth off every other business day. See how it's easy for some to believe that it was all a setup and a vendetta against CHRISAN? For someone who claimed that they didn't know CHRISAN, LaTroy sure does talk about her a lot, and it's these kinds of things that made some people believe that this entire drama was literally a setup. But then again, it's CHRISAN. Honey, we've already established that this girl is capable of a lot. I mean, isn't CHRISAN the same person who had her sister Vicky jumped? Isn't she the same person who was accused of punching her old hairstylist on a red carpet? And the same one who allegedly busted Blueface's head wide open? And we all saw that video of CHRISAN taking on both Blueface's sister and his mom. There have also been receipts in the past of how she has put her hands on so many people, and it's possible she's trying to deny everything because it violates her probation, and she already has a current lawsuit. In September, CHRISAN was sentenced to 4 years probation by a Craig County District Court judge for possession of a controlled substance without a tax stamp and possession with the intent to distribute. So if this actually goes to court and it is proven that she left James with a chipped tooth, CHRISAN will go to jail. Oh, for those who were wondering whether
First of all, y'all done already...
Tamar responded to the...
Y'all done already know she left James with a damn chipped tooth. Shit ain't no lie. It's just sad. It's sad when you get a type of pedestal and you put these people under liability. And it's just too much. You know what I mean? It's just too much. You know? CHRISAN needs to just collect her coins and sit her ass back and take care of her baby in a good way. Stop giving out this negative energy for media. That shit is not fucking cute, y'all. But, hey, we definitely gonna be back. Thank y'all. Like, subscribe. Y'all know I be smoking my weed, man. I be high sometimes. Go ahead and smoke. Drink. Do what y'all want to do when y'all come, you know, chill with me. And we will be back again, y'all. Definitely back again.